Hello, hello. I am CJ,
I am Ace.
And I am Jess.
and welcome to another week of Anime Anonymous. This week we are talking about my recommendation, which is the Hathaway Gundam movie on Netflix. It came out 2021, and there's a very long synopsis for this. But realistically, if you know anything about Gundam, and if you don't know, this is your quick synopsis. Politics. That is it. Every Gundam always has some sort of political strife. This one is more so about the Federation and Anti-Earth Federation, where Federation is, policing people on Earth and kind of running different towns, which you see later on in the movie. And then you have the anti-Earth Federation led by Mafty, who are saying people need to get off of Earth to let it kind of recoup, restore its stuff because it's dying because of overpopulation and pollution, etc. So before we get into actually, quick thoughts, etc., favorite characters, all that good stuff, if you guys have anything to add, you don't agree with our ratings, etc., hit us up on Twitter, Instagram,
Audius,
and TikTok.
And we are more than happy to talk to you. And then again, if you're old school, you can always email us at xanimeanonymousx@gmail.com.
I was ready this time.
So without further ado, we can kind of really jump into it. So I feel like I already know what your quick one is going to be, because
It's going to be short and sweet and to the point.
Because you are not used to Gundam at all.
Nope.
So actually, I'll start with
I'll
you.
go first.
Go ahead, Jess. What do you think?
Not my cup of tea. It was not. And it's nothing against the movie. It's just, it didn't grab me. It's not my cup of tea. The only thing that grabbed me, which I'll just say my favorite character was Gigi. That
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my quick thoughts. You probably won't hear much of me at all in this episode.
We're gonna make you explain that Gigi part.
Oh yeah. You're gonna have to explain
you're gonna
that
have
one.
to elaborate on that one.
Go ahead, Ace. What about you?
So for this one, I guess because I was younger, I only really cared about the actual Gundam, robots fighting, the combat, the battling, and stuff like that, which I really enjoyed in here, and I think that was definitely very well done. But overall, I definitely don't remember it being this raw. That was kind of intense. Well, I was here for it, but it was way more intense than I remember. But for this part one of the movie, because I think it's 3 parts, right?
Yeah, I did some research, and apparently this is supposed to be a trilogy, and this is part 1. So.
Yeah. So for the part 1, I definitely felt like it was a part 1. I mean, I think I checked the time when I was watching it, and I had 9 minutes left, and I'm like, damn, I'm watching this for an hour and some change, and it's 9 minutes left. There's a lot of questions unanswered, and then come to find out that it's just part 1 of 3. That being said, I enjoyed it. I think the combat, the scene selections, the story outline was very enjoyable and entertaining for me personally. The character contrast between Noah Hathaway and Kenneth Slegg. Noah Hathaway being the antagonist, I guess.
Yeah, the protagonist and technical antagonist.
Yeah, and then Kenneth being the protagonist, right?
Well, no. Hathaway is the protagonist.
Okay, so Kenneth Slegg.
Kenneth is technically, it depends. if you're on the Federation side, then he's like your guy. If you're rooting for Hathaway, then he's your antagonist.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I guess for some reason I couldn't pick a side. I don't know if it's just because it's part one, but I enjoyed both of them, and I kind of saw them as competing heroes for their own goal. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't really make a good versus bad guy. It kind of just seemed like two people competing for what they wanted, which I enjoyed, and just. I guess summarize all this gibberish and that I'm trying to get out. I enjoyed it. I definitely liked the combat. I definitely liked the gore, the realism, the rawness of it. I think it was very well written. I actually kind of got annoyed with Gigi just a little bit. But I really enjoyed it for the part one. Definitely was hungry for more. And then I found out it was a part 1 of 3, and I was like, okay, I feel a lot better. Because I was about to give this thing a really low score, and that was like the end of it. I'm like, what the heck is this? So, but yeah, CJ, what do you think?
Mine is short as well, but basically because I'll dive into it later. But this, to me, felt like Star Wars in the trilogy. Yeah, like Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, etc. Like, this felt like that. And in a different way. Like how Star Wars kind of gives you the whole world building. I mean, every Gundam series, except for a few of the offshoots, and I mean, there are a lot of offshoots, has given you kind of... I should say, the one that gave you, like, the best world building for this is, like, the very first Gundam ever made. Because... Noah is like the son of a couple of those characters, right?
Okay.
But yeah, this felt like that to me. Like it was building up to the more action movie, which I think will be coming next, which was what Empire Strikes Back was. Like that was like the action one. So that's why it feels like the first Star Wars trilogy to me. But yeah, so we can just jump into it right now. I will agree with you. It was hard to quote unquote say who's good and bad, especially because the bad guy, Noah, whatever his name is.
I like Noah.
Yeah, he was kind of conflicted.
Right.
Like he's like, yeah, I know what we're doing is bad, but he's trying to kind of justify it with the end goal. And then you meet his team, and they're just as human
right.
as everybody else. Like they're joking, they're caring for each other, like all this stuff. And like the guy that got caught, Gauman, like he's about to kill people, and he's like, for those who are about to get caught in the crossfire, I apologize, like, forgive us. Like, they know the civilians are gonna die, but they are like, well, we need to kill these, like, prime ministers or something? I can't remember the actual term, but basically, like, leaders of these political leaders of the Federation. And it's just like, that's not good. I get your whole thought process, though.
And it kind of felt like they were pushed to that extreme. Like, this is their last resort. So they're kind of like, look, we have to fight and stand up.
Yeah. Because
we've done everything we could. We have exhausted all our other options.
Yeah.
So we're sorry for doing this, but we got to fight for our goals. So that's what kind of made me, like, not choose if they're good or bad. Obviously, killing civilians and having people in the crossfire is not good.
Yeah.
But in an anime, I'm like, look, that's collateral damage, y'all. If y'all know Gundams exist, y'all need to be out.
I will say, and I've seen this in a couple, like, I usually don't look at ratings, but I had seen ratings on this before I had suggested it, and a lot of people were saying this is, like, one of the, if not the most realistic Gundam, and I didn't know what they meant until I watched it. If I'm thinking of them correctly, I agree, because in Gundam fighting, in a lot of them, it's purely focused on the Gundams, right? And they're blowing up buildings and all this stuff, and you couldn't care less. Like, you're not even thinking about it. But in this one, like, you're seeing, like, when they're shooting, like, the heat from the metal being burnt is falling down and hitting civilians. Yeah. Like, when he's landing to wait for Hathaway to get out, he burns the trees as he gets down. And then he launches off, and it's a whole just fire field, right? Mm-hmm. Like, these people are trying to run around while these giant mechs are above them. But they're not just, like, dodging their feet. They're dodging, like, the heat from the boosters and stuff. Like, and then when they think they're safe in, like, this building, a Gundam sits on the building, basically, so it starts falling apart, so they have to run out. It's just like... Yeah, this is like,
real war here.
This is what these people really going through all the time. Like, I could see that. Like, the portrayal of the combat in this was very real. Yeah. Like, I was like, oh no, like all them civilians were murked. Like, they're just laying on the floor and be like, oh dang.
And I'm laughing, but I enjoyed the movie.
No, the combat was really well done. Like, even in those little set pieces. But I will tell you, as if you're a fan of Gundam purely for big robots fighting, which, I mean, that's majority of the reason why people like Gundam, it's not in a boatload of this. That's why I said this is like Star Wars in the original trilogy. Like, a lot of... There's a little bit of fighting, but the fighting that is there is really well done.
Yes,
like it's
that one exchange.
Yeah, we'll get into it like as you go through, but like it kind of starts you early with action because like you have the hijackers, right?
The plane hijack,
and you meet basically our three kind of main characters that we see throughout it. You have Gigi, Hathaway, and then as you said, Kenneth. Yeah. Which like it's a gray area. Like, it's a huge gray area because you're like, Kenneth is just trying to, quote-unquote, protect the people, right? Technically. But then Hathaway is like, well, I'm trying to protect people and the earth. It's like, it's great. It's a gray area. And that's one of the things I actually did like about it. So, we can just knock this out right now. Why the heck do you like Gigi, Jess?
To be honest,
she's
just very interesting to me. I'm very curious into the whole connection that Hathaway and her have, like at the very beginning.
What do you mean?
Like how the flashbacks happen in Hathaway whenever she talks.
Oh,
the telekinesis thing?
No, are you talking about like when he sees a green-haired chick?
Yes.
So that's why I said there's technically a movie before this that like gives a lot of backstory. You can see this as a one shot. You can, but they mentioned it a lot in the movie. They call it like Char or Char, whatever. It was a guy's name, so I'm gonna assume it's Char. I can't remember because I watched a little bit of this in dubbed, but mainly subbed. So I don't know how they said it in dubs. But in that movie, it's called Char's Counterattack. There is a character named, I want to say Quess. I want to say that's her name.
Okay.
And he started because I mean the movie's old, and I want to say I did watch it, but it's been years. I want to say he and her were an item, and then she died. So he is kind of like he thinks of her whenever he's seeing Gigi, because obviously like she's interested in him, and he's obviously kind of interested in her too, or else he wouldn't be saving her all the dang time.
Bro, I'm like, she's the luckiest girl in the world.
But yeah, so that's why he's seeing. There's not an actual connection, but she is good at reading people.
No.
I thought that was a superpower. The way she was like, they are fake. Like, not even moving her mouth. I saw the subs, so it wasn't in English. But it literally felt like she was talking to Hathaway through telekinesis, saying, "You need to get this together and take them out. They're fake."
Yeah, she yelled. Yeah, she did yell. They're fake.
Okay.
And that's like at first, because I went into this I've never seen it. I was like, oh, maybe the way she was talking to Kenneth originally, like when he was trying to hit on her, I was like, oh, maybe she's like Mafty like supporter, like maybe she's on Mafty's crew, because like she knew a lot, and she was like, oh, it sounds like you actually maybe like agree with Mafty or whatever. So I was like, oh, maybe she's trying to like get like another ally or something.
Okay.
But no, you just find out that she's just really, really good at reading people and situations.
Yeah.
And
I got another question for Jess.
Yeah, go ahead.
In regards to Gigi. Her profession.
Her profession?
Is what? Do you remember?
Chick.
Do you remember what her profession was?
Mm-mm.
What Kenneth said when it was kind of towards the end, Kenneth was asking her, like, why were you even on that plane?
Oh, yeah, because she wanted to move to the mountains and be in Japan, but I forget exactly why she...
So she was with an 80-year-old man.
she's a mistress.
Oh. Well,
So
then she's good.
So that's why we were confused.
Yeah, she
on
doesn't.
why you were. That was your favorite character.
This clearly shows that she was checked out of the movie because, like,
I checked out literally, maybe the first, 20 minutes into it, and I was just like, nope, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, because he even says, the address she gave us is in, like, a uninhabited apartment.
Right.
And she was like, yeah.
But she's not an Earth person, right?
She's from space.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, well, that's why she wanted to come down to Earth and visit it, which she also says to Hathaway. But literally old dude, bought her an apartment in Hong Kong, but she actually would like to go to Japan in the mountains. So she was going to go check the apartment for the very first time. So that's why she was like, yeah, you don't think, I'm not as innocent as you think, whatever. And she was like, now you're probably, not interested in her. But, technically, she kind of was throwing herself at both of them, too.
Right.
Which that kind of annoyed me, right? Because you are in the wrong when he walked out and she's in the main room changing.
Yes.
And she's mad that he went on a walk instead of waiting for her. So she goes with Kenneth.
Right.
But then, she's like, oh, I'm disgusted by how, vulgar he is later on. Which, yeah, he is vulgar, for no reason.
Wait, Hathaway is?
No. Kenneth.
Oh, yeah. He was kind of thirsty.
Yeah, and then, so mythology buff here.
Okay.
He wants to call his crew Cersei, which they say who Cersei is, right?
Yep, I remember that.
But then, in the office, he's telling her, you need to stay. You're a goddess of victory.
So who's the goddess of victory?
Goddess of victory is Nike, not Cersei.
Okay,
totally two different people. I was like, oh, why are you calling her Nike now? So me as a mythology buff, I was like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I think they messed up on that one.
But yeah, no, she was just really annoying to me because I think they were trying to draw her or portray her as
I'm curious what your answer on this one.
I can't think of the actual word, but where you don't really know a lot of stuff. Basically, you know how it's in it, for lack of a better word, innocent. There's a better word that I'm trying to think of. But how she reacts to certain things, she almost reacts childlike because she doesn't know better or whatever. They're trying to draw her that way, but
I didn't get that. It felt
but I didn't like it, because in all intents and purposes, she is a hoe.
Yeah, that's literally what I was
like,
thinking. I'm like, why would Jess? And I'm like, why she say her?
And the only reason, like, she could have been like,
she was just
like,
very interesting to me. She was a very interesting hoe. Okay.
Okay.
Very interesting hoe.
because
Fair
like
enough,
she
fair
could
enough.
have been like, you know, in our world, our terms, like a sugar, sugar baby.
Yeah.
But then he was like, the reason I don't think that though is because he was like, Count's like 80.
Exactly.
And she goes, yeah, and he's in great like health. So I was like, oh, maybe they do get it going on.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, well,
because at first I was like, because she was like, I had to rewind it because I had missed what she had said, but I had read, and he's terribly lonely. So I was like, oh, he employs her, but yeah, it's just a companion. But then I saw the like healthy part. I'm like, well, no, they probably, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but I really, even though I hate politics in real life, like, I think it was good to see it in this because you saw Hathaway struggling with his two personas. He has his Hathaway one, who is the son of a Federation pilot, etc. His dad is really decorated. And then you have his Mafty persona, which before you have like the really big Gundam exchange,
right.
He's like, I need to put away Hathaway. Like, forget it. Like, I am Mafty now.
Yeah.
And he's like, Gigi, is it because of Gigi that like I'm off my game or whatever?
Right.
And like, yeah, it was that was Gundam for me because that was sick. Like and then even with Guan, I think that's his name, like dropping out of the sky into like his hatch, I was like, that was sick too.
Yeah.
So,
no, I definitely agree with you on that one. And that Hathaway guy, when he is trying to, when the citizens are being pretty much like almost demonstrating like slavery, like the way they were being checked for their location permits or
basically
housing
like
permits,
earth permits. If you don't have it or you don't pay to renew it, then they ship you off Earth.
Yeah, so because of that and how like ruthless that was, I'm like on Hathaway's side. Like, yeah, that's not anything where a citizen or where the rights and the amendments, like, we don't have that. I didn't like that at all. That was kind of like pushing me to Hathaway.
Pushes you to Hathaway.
Yeah, and that's what I was like. Okay, Hathaway / what's his criminal name again? Mafty. I'm like, yeah, no, I see your side. Yeah, and that's kind of why I ignored the collateral damage part on both ends, because once you see
it's
that,
not like they're the only ones causing damage. Like, Kenneth's people are killing people too, so
right. And then I'm on Kenneth with the way he was talking to Gigi, and I'm like, didn't they say on the plane that Gigi's like awfully young?
She's like 19.
Did they confirm
that?
Yeah,
they said she's not even 20 yet.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, the way I heard it was she ain't legal.
Yeah, no,
but
if
she's 19.
She's 19. She's 18 or 19, but I want to say when I looked it up, she's 19.
But Kenneth is what? How old?
Yeah, Kenneth.
To them, or
Kenneth is older than Hathaway, I want to say, and Hathaway is supposed to be like mid-20s.
Okay, so definitely didn't like Kenneth hitting on Gigi. That felt cringy. And then, I was like, Kenneth, you're not making me really on your side. But then it's like, all right, he's like, yeah, I'm here to protect the citizens and trying to, like, be a general and war hero or whatever. I'm like, all right, guess you're not as bad as I would have thought. But I think that they definitely portrayed both sides very, like, they gave you the opportunity to pick a side. They gave you the opportunity to make a choice on what you agreed with, what you disagreed with, for both of them. And that's kind of like what I enjoyed about this part 1.
Yeah.
But the fighting little scenes just made me like kind of hungry for part 2. So if you're accurate about that, part 2 is going to be the battle scenes. That's what I'm ready for. That's what's going to be my 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
because
that's what
now
that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah,
because like that's how Star Wars is. Like it's like, oh, okay, it's like a decent movie, and then the second one was like the pop off.
Right.
But
so I'm hoping for that.
I mean, I'll just say it right now. Like, I'm still on Hathaway's side, just because like
I like his team
for those same reasons. Like, Kenneth is like cringy, kind of creepy. Like he's just like straight up tells her like, sleep with me.
Yeah,
that way we'll get your luck to my team, which is like just kind of just cringe.
Yeah, that was not smooth.
Yeah, then he's like beating, which granted, I guess different interrogation styles, but he's like beating the snot out of Gawan or whatever, the guy that they captured.
Yeah,
and then he tells the pilot of, oh man, it's not Pandora. Anyway,
one of his subordinates.
Yeah, he tells his subordinate who pilots the Gundam, use Gawan or whatever as a shield if things go bad. I'm like, bruh, really? Like, so, and yeah, just Hathaway's relationship with his whole crew,
I enjoyed
was
that.
So good, and they're just so human. Like they are so human. Like you got like the little weird like punk like f ups like with the purple or green hair or whatever. Then you have the girl who I'm just thinking maybe is kind of feeling him, the girl with the glasses, because she was like, well, who's the girl you're with? And he's like, oh, she'd just be bad to have as an enemy or whatever.
Right.
But they also show that Hathaway isn't an idiot. Like, he's not sleeping on Kenneth. Like, he's like, no,
right, yeah.
Even if Gigi doesn't tell him, Kenneth's gonna figure out I am Mafty.
Yeah, which he did.
He did. Yeah,
which he did.
So, like, yeah, I don't know. I like the vibe, but
and just so you don't forget, another part before you go to another scene, when he said that he would give the Gundam to Mafty, to Hathaway, I'm like, bro, that's how you motivate your team?
Yeah,
it's
just
by
off
threats.
Rip. Yeah, just off rip. He's like,
you let 2 of your people die, I'm gonna give your Gundam away to somebody else. You keep effing up. I'm like, nah, I don't like no team captain like that.
But then at first you thought it was just motivation, but no, he was dead serious. Like, because when he meets Hathaway again, he was like, if you join my team, like, that's yours.
Yeah, I'm like, bro,
like, that's messed up.
That's not gonna make anyone want to be loyal to you or want to die for you or protect for you, like, or even go hard to get their 100%.
Yeah, they
just want to do just enough so they don't get fired, just enough so they don't,
Plus, he's like, he was dogging him even when he left, because he was like, yeah, he was the best one in like the simulations, but he's absolutely useless in real combat.
I'm like, bro,
useless? He just helped you stop this dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like, what do you expect him to come out of training being like John Wick? Like,
right.
What the
Which
heck?
I still gotta watch. I literally, I gotta watch John Wick. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, like, yeah, there's not a crazy amount to talk in this one about, because again, it's world building of this trilogy. It's not world building for Gundam. Obviously, Gundam has been around, but I did enjoy it for what it was. I do really hope. From what I've seen, it's gotten a lot of traction. So I'm hoping that makes them want to come out with that second one. Because I definitely would like to see the story. Because they hint maybe Hathaway's gonna die. Maybe not, because Hathaway says it when Hathaway talks to Kenneth in the cafeteria. Kenneth's like, "What are you thinking about?" He's like, "I'm just thinking if Mafty does keep going about his ideals the way he does, he's gonna have to die." And I'm like, so does that mean he's gonna keep going the way he is and then die, or is there gonna be some sort of shift there? And I know this is based off of a book. I'm be real with you, I'm not going to go read the book. So if they don't come out with another one, oh well. But I'm really hoping they do. Yeah. But But yeah, like I don't know. I don't really have much more on it because again, it was
very simple story.
It was a simple one. Yeah.
And pretty much it was the beginning of identifying, both parties involved.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was a transition of Gigi and Hathaway, his suspicion of Gigi trying to figure out who she likes more. Then it was a little bit of combat between both parties. Mm-hmm. Then it was pretty much Gigi getting saved from every altercation situation, environmental problem that was happening. She's just being a damsel in distress. Really useless. If you want to say someone's useless, Gigi was useless when it came to that part. And then I guess it was trying to give some of the romance part into it, and the way they were hugging and
she's both of their love interests basically.
Yeah. Then after that, it's pretty much
I'd take Glasses Girl over her.
Oh yeah, of course. Glasses Girl was tough to me, in my opinion. If I had to rate her,
even was the red-haired chick who like piloted to get him to his Gundam. Like she was tough too. Like he was like, I don't care, just slam your Gundam into it. I don't care if there's damage.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you think I'm gonna do?
Yeah.
And she was freaking out because if she didn't, like, that's it. Their plan was done. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I liked her too. Yeah, and I think I may have had a slight little doze off during this one. I had to catch myself, but yeah, I'm thoroughly just excited for season 2 or part 2 and part 3.
That chick.
Yeah. I liked her. Yeah.
Glasses Girl.
Oh, I got them mixed up when you were first explaining.
That's the girl that's like, well, who's the girl you're traveling with?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then when he ends up at the hideout for the first time, she's like upstairs. He goes and talks to her, and she's like, "This plan's crazy."
So I think I still like Redhead Girl.
Redhead Girl's tough.
Yeah, more than Glasses Girl, but hey, I mean that don't matter. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was literally just preparing you for part 2, and I think it did it. I think that was a successful objective of them. Before we do ratings, I just want to start off by giving Anime List their ranking and score. They ranked it 828. The score was about an 8, 7.84 to be exact. So I'm going to just round that up to an 8. And then I want to also see how many people were involved in this rating. So this one was almost 15,000 people voted. So for 15,000 and to get an 8, and most of it is just kind of promoting the part 2 and part 3.
Yeah,
I think it was successful with that. I would definitely I'll start off with the rankings.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because I think it did not have what I wanted out of Gundam, but I think it was necessary, it was important, and it pretty much got me interested for part 2 and cleared up some of the questions that I would have had would be answered in part 2 and part 3.
Yeah,
so
hopefully.
So I'm like, all right, as a good intro exposition, yes, it checked those boxes, and I'm just ready for more. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because them for that one fight with them Gundams, I'm
good.
like that's kind of nice.
Even
and then
though it
the
was short.
explosions and the artwork, I was like, okay.
I like the difference, and then we'll go to Jess's rating because I know it's going to be riveting. I liked the clear difference between the two of them because Kenneth's dude shoots missiles at Hathaway, and Hathaway like looks back at him and is like dodging all of them, right? Hathaway does the same thing basically to the dude. The dude tries to like shoot them all down and like tries to dodge them, and he does, and then he just gets wrecked by all these missiles. It's like, and then it's like, oh, it's done. Nope, second barrage. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah, that little exchange. It was maybe a 5-minute fight max. But even then, it was good. That felt like old school Gundam.
And that's what I was like, all right, I see what y'all are doing.
Yep. All right, Jess.
Moment of truth.
Hit me with the Carfax. Man, wow. It's so good she can't even say it.
No, I just know what you guys are going to say. This is not against the movie at all. But for me, it's a 3.
Actually, that's kind of higher than I thought she was going to get.
That's higher than what she gave Spirited Away. So.
Okay. All right. I can
It's better,
accept that.
it's better than that.
I can accept that.
Okay, it's just, no. It's just short and sweet. I checked out. Y'all were talking about the action. Shoot, I don't even remember the fights. Okay, I'm just like, this is what I'm watching. This is what no, not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So,
I can see that.
So,
You know.
I don't care if a part 2 shows up, but I hope it does for you guys.
Hey, I'll take the love. I don't care.
It's all right. If
So don't go off of Jess's.
If there's big booms, explosions in the second one, she'll kind of like it.
We'll see.
Just get a
It may bump up from 2 or 3 to a 5.
yeah, just give it like a free bird scene with Gundams, and then she'll be good. I'm gonna also give this a 7. Basically because, again, even though I think there was a place for the politics, because that's really big in Gundam, I'm not a huge politics kind of expositional fan. And that's what a lot of this was, kind of showing the different sides of the politics. So it was between like a high 6 or a low 7 for me. Okay. But the way they went for it on different things, like how the gun was used like in the plane and stuff, and how he killed that dude just off rip. And then the slow motion kind of like machine gun use was like really well done. The way that Hathaway like disarmed him and took out the others made sense. So that action sequence was good. The first Gundam fight was good, and then the second one that we had was good as well. And the animation for those was good. Like the animation in this movie wasn't bad. Like,
it was clean. Like
it was very
firework
clean.
explosion scene when she's hugging Gigi.
Yeah,
you saw that part, or you fell asleep on that? No. Okay.
And then the sound design.
I'm throwing shade. I'm joking.
The sound design was good too. Like when they did the rocket, basically launching from the water, like, and the way that the water kind of blew up when it was launching, like that was really good too. So yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 7. I do hope that they come out with the season 2, because I would like to see season 2 episode. Well, maybe if they do turn into episodes, who knows? I might like that more. Who knows? I don't know. But if they do part 2 and a part 3, I would like to see that how it ends, because Hathaway's story just kind of intrigues me. Like, I'm not gonna be sad if it doesn't come up, but like if it does, I'm interested. So, but yeah, so a 3 for Jess.
Just ignore that. Just keep it a 7.
No, that's fine.
What it is.
No, that's fine. That is fine. That's the whole point of having you here, right? You are like the anime newbie, technically. So, it's all right. Because you know what? She's eventually going to get us back and have some horrible anime that we would never want to watch.
Like, it's a 0.
This thing sucked. She was like, this was amazing. I loved this. I'm like, I hated it.
It was the worst.
I'm going to be like Nazuna, like when they went to the movie and she's just like, are you torturing me right now? Like, that's going to be me. I'm going to look at her the whole time. But yeah, no. So
He's gonna look at it the whole time. I can't wait till we turn this into a video as well, so you can see everything.
But yeah, so 3 for Jess, 7 for Ace, and
7 for CJ.
Yeah, and I. And then we are still coming up with the next episode. But until then, I am CJ.
And I'm Ace.
And I'm Jess.
And we will catch you next AA meeting.